please feel free to take over, and I will be here to help in any way that I can.
Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate it. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Susan Rayburn. I've been with the Office of Online Learning for quite a while now, and I consider myself a Canvas guru. So I'll be kind of leading the presentation today. I'm also have my associate, Callie Crow. She just recently joined the Office of Online Learning, is becoming very familiar with it. She's really a tech geek anyway, so it won't take her long to be able to answer all your questions about Canvas. So this is a very basic session on Canvas, how to get to it, how to use the very basic tools, and then we may spread out to answer specific questions for individuals. But do know that Callie or I are available for any time you need assistance or you want some one-on-one sessions. All right, so I'm going to jump right into it. And I'm sure you can see my screen where I have the USM homepage. So I'm going to start from the very basics, which is how do we get to our Canvas? So there's several different ways, but one of the easiest ways is just go from the homepage, information for you, faculty, staff, and you'll see Canvas directly underneath the list here. When you click on Canvas, and I'm not going to log in this way, I'm going to log in just like I'm an instructor as you are. You'll want to enter your 6 digits with the W, or there may be 9 now. I'm not quite sure. But the numbers have been growing ever since I've started working here. And then your password. You don't use at usm.edu. You just enter just like you were logging into SOAR with your ID number and your SOAR password. Now, if you have a problem, you can always click Forgot Password, and that will kick you to the iTech area where you can update your password. And iTech is also the one you would communicate with if there were password issues. So I'm going to log in. And right now I'm using Chrome. Let me see if I can do it again. Maybe if I go. Sorry about that. I thought I had the corrected password, but apparently I don't. So let me go in my directions here. So I'm having password issues. And in this case, it's a teachable moment. I would actually reach out to iTech. But iTech doesn't handle this type of account. So let me just log in here. Hope it doesn't override what I've got going on over there. See if this will work. If not, I'll have to just fix that. Oh, this is funny. I'm so sorry this is happening. Callie, it's not letting me log in as my admin. Can you go to that ID number and update a password and send it to me?
Sure.
Thanks.
Also, I was going to put it in the chat, but I'll just go ahead and say it right now as well. Since this will be one of your main pages you're going to use, I would go ahead once you get to it the first time and be sure that you bookmark this page because you're going to go to it probably every day.
And the good thing about this page, it does allow you to bookmark. Mm-hmm. So while I'm waiting for the password, do you know you can use Chrome, you can use Firefox, you can use Internet Explorer. Students are very common to use the Canvas apps. And when they do use those Canvas apps, they're not quite, sorry about that, they're not quite able to do everything that they think they can. So taking tests can cause a problem. And other things that may be an issue, so we don't encourage students to use the app for everything. They may miss out on main content. Oh, that's an easy one. Perfect. I hope. Looks like this is working. So notice this is everyone's homepage. You can change this up according to your needs. But I always post information for both instructors and students on the homepage. These announcements are pretty important. For instance, here we've got some new updates to Canvas, some great new tools that are happening that just recently happened this month. So it's a good idea to review anything I post here. I'll also be posting in the next day or so an announcement about using content from one course to another, when the courses will open for the semester, those type things. Okay. Notice Mike Killy term. This is the first time that he's logged in, and it talks about notification preferences. So this also happens for all your students as well. The notification preferences, they have defaults, but you can change it to meet your needs. We'll cover that another day in a little more depth. But what you really want to do is make sure that you have an image here so that your students can become familiar with it. Your image will appear in your course when you create an announcement or respond to a discussion. And in your grading, when you use your grading, it will appear there as well. So I clicked on the actual name with a little gray circle above it, and I'm going to click Profile. Now here, I want to add an image, and it doesn't show until I actually scroll over it that I can add an image here. So I'm going to click to edit, and I can choose to take a picture from my computer, or I can upload an image, or I can use from a Gravatar, which is, one of those sketchy computer type images. I'm going to upload just for giggle's sake. I'm going to choose my picture, go to where my picture is, open it. And this is a nice tool because you can also choose how you want to show yourself. So if I want a little bit more serious look, I can give the evil eyes by closing down on the image, or make it more friendly by enlarging it. Then once I'm happy with where my image is in the circle, I just click Save. I can edit my profile so that my students know a little bit more about myself. Here I have one of the Elven tribes, and I can add a great explorer. If I wanted to, I can make full sentences. Here I'm just doing bits and pieces. I can link to anything that I have on the web. So if I've got some documentations out there that I want to share, I can use that, title it, and provide that URL as well, so that my students understand where my research is and what I'm doing with that. I can actually link to my USM profile as well, and just save that. Okay, so now you'll see that here in the image, see, it did not take. Let me choose one more time, profile, open, save. All right, now it's going to make a liar out of me. What is probably happening at this moment is our Canvas is on the Amazon cloud. And when it becomes overwhelmed for any reason, sometimes our images don't appear. It's appearing in my toolbar, but it's not appearing right here in this area. So nothing like teachable moments. But do know that should you have any problems with Canvas, you can click the Help and Resources and reach out to them by reporting a problem. It will record your computer. It will record what browser you're using, what type of computer you're using, what page you're on, and then you explain to them what the problem is. Okay, that's a little off the side information for you. I'm clicking back to my dashboard, and as I said, be sure to read your announcements. Once you've read your announcements, you can close out of them if you're comfortable, and you don't need to come back to any of those links that we provide. You'll always be able to find the announcements underneath your profile area under Global Announcements. And it pretty much told me right there where I can view my announcements. So I'm going into a course here that I'm going to demo for this particular Canvas 101. And you'll notice here that I've got a home page on it already. I also have under modules some information for students. These are legal requirements that we're supposed to provide our students regardless of who we are or what we are. There's still some legal requirements to make sure that our students know that there's privacy concerns that provided by the company itself and any of the tools that we're using. If you'd like to use the template in your course, please let me know, and I can add it to it, and it's editable for you once it gets into your course. For instance, here's my home page. This is an actual page, which you'll find underneath here on your course menu. These are tools that you can use in your course for different reasons. If I wanted to edit this home page, I just click to edit, and then I can add the information I'd like to add. So in this case, I want to put my name as the instructor. I want to make sure they have my contact information. Of course, this isn't a real instructor, so it's not going to give them the real address. And even if I choose to, I can put my phone number put my office hours and make sure that they are aware that I'm not available 24 hours, as students expect. So forth and so on. You can do a quick little welcome message. You can add an image of yourself. So if I were to click in this box, I can simply click on the image up here or click on insert image. Either way will get me to where I can upload an image. If I click upload an image, I can drag and drop, or I can use the search, open. And then I want to see here, I've got alt text. They always expect you to add alt text to an image so that your students who are visually impaired know what's going on in that image. If it's something that they really don't need to know about, you can use the decorative image. Click submit. Let's see how big this image is. So this isn't a very large image, and it's important for you to know that it's always a good idea to resize your images. If you're giving like, and I believe the Center for Faculty Development is going to do the images for the professional images for you, that you resize it, that it not be over 200 by 200 pixels, because otherwise it takes up the whole screen. Click to save. Simple and easy. So that's it, editing a page. Now the meat of the course is going to be where we would add it would be modules. And modules actually provides a way to add a table of contents as well, so that students with disabilities will be able to see these headers and go directly to specific items. But if you want to add your own, you just click plus module. It's that easy. You name the module. And it is recommended, it's not required, that maybe you do it by weeks. You can do it by topics. You can do it by chapters, if you like. But make sure that it kind of allows the students to get an idea of how you're setting up your course and how they'll go through it progressively. So I clicked and added that module, and it's down here at the bottom. Whoops, don't want to do that. Cancel. So I'm going to click the plus sign to the right of this because I'm going to create a new page. A page is just like what was on the home page. It's an HTML coded area. However, you don't have to know any HTML. I'm going to call this one, sorry, these are existing pages. I'm going to create a new one and call it the week 1 overview and objectives, and add that item. So right now there's nothing going on with it. It is just in this list. If I want to add things to it, I click on it, click to edit, and then I can write out what my objectives are for week 1. So remember that you should design your course around what your objectives are for them. So this is what they will be required to do. I can bullet this area by highlighting it and making it into a list. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do because it shows everything. Let me undo it. Let's see if that will make it. Ooh. Going to make a liar out of me, isn't it? Usually if you just type in there, I copied and paste. But now I'm going to make it into a list. All right. Notice here in my objectives, I don't say students will. When students see students will, they tend to ignore it. But if you do make it more personal and direct it towards your students, they will take the time to say, oh, this is something I have to do. You will be required to read the syllabus, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just a little tip there. Once I've created my page, this is my objectives, I save and publish. I go back to my module. And now that I've added something, I believe, let me see if it'll let me just drag it up to the top. Yes. So I can reorganize my weeks as I'm creating. I can drag them up, I can drag them down. If I want to add a file, I click on the plus of the module again, use the drop down, and this time I will do file. These are the files that are currently located in this course. And know that once you've added a file, you don't have to keep adding that file new if you want to use it in separate areas. You can pull it out of the course files. When adding a new file, I would create a file and choose a file. So let's say I want to add a syllabus, because that's what I say. I'm going to have them read their syllabus. I'm going to add that. And notice that my weird name system. Sometimes we use weird names to organize our files, but it doesn't look very professional when we keep it that way for our students. We can simply edit that name and just call it update. Now that looks a little bit easier for the students to understand. Hey, this is my syllabus. This is what I have to read according to my objectives. Canvas also allows us to add other things as well. So if I were to add a different file, whoops, I didn't want to add the same one. You know what happened there? Anyone? Remove. As I said, that with Canvas, that you can actually upload one file and use it in multiple places. Let's see if it did it this time. Choose the file. And let's go to this PDF. Open. Add item. And notice that I have my PDF there. You can add PowerPoints. I do not recommend adding narrative PowerPoints or videos directly to a course. We do have a tool that can help you with adding videos of your own creation that we'll be covering later on as the studio presentation. So I've got some files going on. I've got my course objectives, and now I want to create an assignment. So here, oops, I'm not creating a module. Click the plus sign of the module assignment. I'm going to create one. Add item. I can't because I don't have a name here. Canvas is very good about telling us what we need to do before we do it or make a mistake. So I'm going to click this and call this a syllabus assignment. Add item. Notice it's not published. The reason it's not published is because there's no information in it. If I click on syllabus assignment, here I can edit and tell my students what it is I want them to do. So I've put that they should understand the syllabus. If I want them to make sure that they know where the syllabus is, I can actually stick it in their face here by clicking Insert, Document, Course Document, and then find that newly added syllabus right there. If I choose to, I can rename that to simply syllabus. This link will kick them to the same document that I put under modules. Okay. With that, I want to assign them some points for the syllabus. So I assign it by points. The assignment group, this is the default group that's always in Canvas. Assignment grouping is a way of setting up weights, but we won't go into that right now. Points is probably the easiest way to grade your students. You can use percentages, have an incomplete or complete. You can't do a letter grade unless you set up your grading schema. Or not graded, meaning that it doesn't count towards the final. You do have to set up a submission type. You can use assignments to create a column in your grades. And if you want just a column where students don't submit anything to them, but you want to give them a grade, you can do no submission. If you want them to submit a document online, then you can choose what it is that you want them to do from here. So online, what kind of information they're going to provide for you. Most common is going to be file uploads. And because of the way the grading center works for you, we encourage you to use the restrict upload file types to docs, docx, or PDF. Notice there's no docx. It's all just docx, or PDF. You can also do Excel or a text file. Canvas allows the students unlimited attempts at an assignment by default. If you don't want them to continually override what they've submitted, you can limit it to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, as many as you choose. If you have 3 attempts, know that the latest attempt will come up and for you to grade. Every time you uploaded a new attempt, you'd have to grade that. Group assignments, I'm just going to click this for giggle sakes. We don't have any groups, but you can set up group assignments. By default, it's going to allow students, when you grade, it's going to give all the students the same grade. Or you can set it up to where you assign grades individually to each student. You have to do this at the beginning if you do a great group assignment. You'll only have 1 submission to grade. You can do peer reviews. And now with Canvas, they've changed this, for those who are not new to it, they changed this manage due dates and assign to, so that it pops out to the side. The default is to everyone. You set up a due date. The due date will automatically appear on the students' calendars and their to-do list. Make sure you set an end time for it. The default is going to be 11:59. And then, of course, how long it's going to be available. You can have it available after the due date. It will let you know then if a student submits late. So if a student were to submit after the due date, it would also have an indicator that this is late. Now, if I have a student who has an excuse, they have to be on temporary duty, or maybe they're having a doctor type issue or something like that, you can use the add button to assign to a specific student. So these are all the students in my class. I'm going to pick the student that needs a different time, and I'm going to give them a different due date. And then it's still going to be available from the 4th through the 6th. So now this one student can submit to that assignment at a different time. The rest have to submit by the 23rd or considered late. Apply. Now, once I've got my assignment, it won't show for my students until I click Save and Publish. There's my syllabus assignment. This assignment actually lives under assignments. So here you'll see assignments, and I've got 2 assignments here. This assignments create columns. So anything I create as an assignment that's got a grade, whether it be a quiz, whether it be a discussion, it will appear underneath this assignment link and then ultimately appear in the grades. Okay, do I have any questions going on?
None in the chat, but I did just want to add, when you're creating those assignments and you have the assignment submission options, you can choose multiple selections in that checkbox if you want to give the student options. And then you can also change in that course navigation column what the students see on their end. So where you see the I and the slash next to announcements, because there's no announcements posted yet, but you can move this column to choose what the students see. If you don't want them to have access to the course materials link, you can move that. So Susan will show you that in a minute, but all these things you can choose what the students are seeing on that course navigation column as well.
And that is an excellent point. With that, I'm going to go to the student view so that I can give you and know that you, in your course, you can always act like a student so that you see what's going on and understand how it can be confusing for students. So when I click the student view, you'll see here that I don't have the assignment showing. I don't have files showing. I've limited it to the things I want my students to access. Since I don't have assignments, then the students must go through the modules to go to the assignment. Now, you see, I created a module that was week 1, but my students aren't seeing this. This is a common problem that that happens a lot with instructors. They work very hard on their courses. And so it's important to know, use this student view so you see if it's all ready for your students. The reason my students are not seeing week 1 is because of this little gray circle here. I have not published it yet. So when I click on that, I can publish module and all items. Or if there's something I want to leave, I can publish the module only. But most cases, if you put something in a module, you want your students to see it. Okay? So now that I'm done that, I'm going to view this as a student again. And then here, you'll see that what my student sees. You can click through your course just like you're a student. Read the information that's provided to them. And see how the document opens up in a reader box. They can go to the next document line. And then they can see their syllabus, their assignment. Here's their syllabus once more in their face so that they can know, hey, I have to read the syllabus, and then be able to say, yes, I understand it. So students would then start the assignment. And then from there, they can choose. These are default tabs that always come up regardless of how you set it up, as long as it's an online submission. Or they can just choose a file So with this one, I'm going to use that as an example. Open. And the students can check to see if they submitted the correct file. They can add multiple files for your assignment if that's what you like. And then they can, once they're happy, they'll click submit. Now, you see the confetti? I went to a panel at the conference for InstructureCon, and I went to a panel where the students were saying what they liked, what they found confusing about online courses. One of the things they said they really liked was getting the confetti when they submitted their assignments. Since I gave 3 attempts, they can actually do another attempt here. But I'm just going to leave this so I can give you an idea of what it's like to grade an assignment. Okay, so here I am at my assignments, which is easy to find under assignments. Then I'll click to my syllabus assignment and I'll see my speed grader. I can access this too through grades. There's my test student. I can click to the right of it and hit their speed grader there. Speed grader's a great tool, and it's made some real improvements over the few years that I've been dealing with Canvas. You have the online tools that you can actually write comments. And notice my name's right there for the student to see, so they know it's me. If you have a TA who's doing your grading, their name will appear as well. You can highlight and then also make a comment. You can strike through. So this is the speed grader, and you can simply go through. If you you can make a rubric that is also you can be used to grade with the limited amount of time that we have. I'm not going to be able to go into that. But one thing that's really cool this year is that you can create recordings of yourself, providing students with information. So once I start the recording of the screen capture, just enable. Well, this is for, oh, it doesn't really want me to do it, but anyways, I can start that recording. And then anything that I record will be also, my camera's being used, will also show up here. It will close caption for my students. And now I've got to figure out where that recording's stopping. Sorry about that.
It's going to be up in that top gold button, and right above that, I also
Oh
wanted
yeah, I
to
see
bring
it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And bring attention to where it says 0 of 10 graded. So this also allows you to keep track of how many assignments have you graded, how many assignments do you have. So it also speeds up the grading process for you in that regards as well. And so you can click through all the assignments in this one space.
So I can listen to my recording. Thank you, Callie, for that. I can listen to my recording. I can start over. It will close caption, and this will then show for my student when they come in to look at their grades. Now, as you mentioned here, the 0 through 110, I haven't graded anyone yet. I need to put a point value There's my recording that just appeared here. I'm going to give them 5. I'm going to click submit. And now that student's graded. If you want to go through each student, you can just click the arrow above, and that will take you to the next student in line who needs to be graded. None of these have submitted, so so of course, naturally, they're not going to appear there. I'm going to get back to my class by clicking on the little gradebook icon, and I can click to the front of the course. I believe I covered everything that I needed to for this presentation. Is there anything that anyone needs to know or is concerned about?
Could you demonstrate how to change that course navigation column to what students see and don't see if you wanted to
Sure.
add something or remove something?
Okay, by default, if you use the template, we've limited what they see. But if you want your students to actually be able to access the assignments from the menu as well, as opposed to be guided through the modules, you can. So you click on the navigation. Sorry, let me step back one. Everyone, as an instructor, has the setting buttons. Students do not have the setting buttons. Here, there's more details about your course. Navigation is where you control the menu. So most of the times when you're giving a course, you may not have this course material showing. It will be at the bottom. You would drag it up and show it. Say, for instance, here I wanted to pull my assignments up so my students have quick access to that. I can put it up. It will show up here once I click save. The course materials is where the students will find their books. So if you don't see it on your menu, make sure you show it. But do take the time to understand what's going on in your course menu, understand what your students see, because it's nothing more frustrating to go into a course and click every one of those links and find that there's nothing there for them. There are some links here by default that are hidden from students anyways. So notice I don't have a student view here. I'd have to go back home, view as a student, and then you'll see the assignments have moved up. My student has 1 grade. That's my test student.
So we do have a question in the chat. Can you discuss ending the course so that the course does not remain active into the next semester?
Okay, by default, we have the courses set up on term system so that when the term ends, and we usually leave it open to the first day of the following semester. So this course, so if it's a summer course, it will close on the first day, August 21st. If you want to, let me leave the student view. If you want to have more control over that, you can change term to course, and you can put an end date there. Now, problem with this is that it does not necessarily leave the student's view unless, notice it says 12 a.m. It wants me to change that to 11:59 p.m. or the beginning of November 29th, 12 p.m. But it will remain on the student's view even if you end the course, unless you restrict students from viewing the course. Okay, so that means it stays on the dashboard unless you restrict students from seeing the course. If the course has information the student needs to know, then you really don't, for a follow-up for another course, it's a prerequisite to another course, you really don't want to restrict it from students' view. In that case, I'd leave it for where the term closes it, just because that will go to past enrollments underneath courses, all courses. What that means, courses, all courses. So any course that you are registered in shows up here. If you have a past course, it will show underneath this list as past courses. The students would still have access to view the content. They can't change anything. They can't submit anything. They can just view the content there. Okay, any other questions?
Feel free to
Yeah.
unmute as well if you have questions.
Yeah. I think we're at our end time anyways. We're right over it. Okay, very welcome. Do know you can reach out to callie.crowell@usm.edu or susan.rayburn@usm.edu. Either one of us will help you.
Thank you so much for attending this morning. We will also have a session this afternoon and 2 more tomorrow about everything Canvas. So we hope to see you there and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Look forward to working with you.
Bye. Oh. So I wonder if Danielle ever got a chance to join us.